All right, good morning, everyone. Welcome to LisaBug Yoga. This is the last yoga class for the year 2024, not the last LisaBug class because we do have Tuesday class next Tuesday, which will be the 31st, New Year's Eve. So I expect you to join me if possible next Tuesday. But today's our last yoga class for the year. We're going to combine some active movements for the hips, which will involve concentrating on our core as well. And then at the end of the class, we've got a restorative pose, which will be a nice hip opener and an upper shoulder and chest release. So you'll need a sturdy pillow, a block, or something to prop it up on an angle for at the end of class. But join me down on your back to start today. Have your yoga strap handy. And we are just going to start with the knees bent, the feet nice and flat on the ground. And you can place your hands right on the fronts of your hips. If you find those little bony landmarks in the front of your hips, this is called the ASIS, the anterior, which means to the front, superior, which means above, iliac, because it's our hips, and then spine. So anterior, superior, iliac spines. It's a little spiny process here. So let's keep our fingertips right on the ASIS and then start to tilt your pelvis so your lower back comes down to the floor. And you'll feel those bones come toward you a little bit. This is a posterior tilt because the bones are going to the back side of your body. Now, if we reverse this and tilt our pelvis the other way, so we lift our lower back away from the mat, your pelvic bones or the ASIS are going to go forward. So that's an anterior tilt. So let's tilt posterior, press the lower back down, and then tilt anterior, bringing the pelvis bones forward. And down and forward. So just depending on your mobility in your lower back, this might be kind of a small movement. And when you tilt to the front or anterior, I want to make sure that you're not doing that so much that you feel pain in your lower back. So just make it a nice range of motion to warm up that area of the spine. And then let's match the breathing with it. So as we tilt anterior, take an inhale. And as we tilt posterior, exhale the breath out. And we'll do 3 more. And 2. One more time with our anterior tilt and posterior tilt. And then somewhere in the middle is your neutral spine. So just let your pelvis level out. And then we'll take the right knee up to the chest. I'd like for you to take the back of your leg with the fingertips as you pull your knee toward you. And you probably went into a posterior tilt because when the knee comes in, it causes the pelvis to do that little posterior tilt. And then set that right foot back down to the floor. Your lower back may start to come up a little. Bring the left knee in, hold behind the thigh. You can flex the ankle a little bit. And then come down. Right knee comes in, holding behind the leg. And then we'll extend the leg up to almost straighten it, any amount where you feel that stretch in your hand. Then re-bend the right knee and set your foot on the floor. Left knee comes in. Lengthen the leg slowly. Re-bend and set the foot down. Now we'll put this with a breathing pattern. Right knee into chest, inhale. Leg extends, exhale. Bend the knee, inhale. Set the foot down, exhale. So a slow breath in and out and in and out. One more on each side. Just a gentle range of motion here, not pushing to where it's uncomfortable. And then we'll add one more piece. So bring that right knee into the chest. Keep your toe pointed as you extend the leg up. Then flex the ankle, rebend the knee, and set the foot down. Left knee to chest, toe is pointed. Leg extends. Flex the foot. Bend the knee and release it to the mat. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. And release. Toe points as you extend, then flex the ankle, bend the knee, and bring it down. One more on each side. And as that foot comes down, just pause and relax. Just notice what you're feeling in your body. For me, there was a huge difference between my right and left side that was very noticeable. But I felt that over time, it started to even out a little bit. So let's bring both knees up to chest. You can imprint that lower back so you're in a posterior tilt. Separate your knees. Your feet will stay together. And then bring the knees back together. So it's like we're coming into a clamshell, opening and closing. I'm just using my hands to guide the knees apart and in. Now we'll make this an egg beater circle. So open the knees, push them out away from you, but try not to let your lower back lift too much off the floor. Close the knees in and then bring the knees into chest. So we open, press away, in, and toward you. Now, when you press away, that's when I want you to exhale the breath and inhale when the knees are back in. That exhalation is going to help you to stabilize your lower back from coming into too much of an anterior tilt when your knees are going away from each other. Okay, so let's reverse this. So knees stay together as you push away. Open the knees, keeping your toes touching. Come in and close. Exhale and inhale. Now you can make these egg beater circles any size, especially if you're feeling any tension in your lower back. You can make them smaller, and then there's less of a chance you'll get into that deep anterior tilt of your pelvis. One more this direction. And then set your feet right down on the floor and keep them close to each other, so almost touching or slightly separated. Do that little posterior tilt, so press your lower back into the floor and then lift your hips up off the mat any amount. So we are in a bridge with a little bit of a pelvic tilt. You should feel your glutes and your hamstrings really switching on. And then let's begin to march our bridge. So the right foot comes up and then we set it down, the left foot up and set it down. And this doesn't have to be big. It's about that switch from one side to another, working on strengthening. Good. We'll march one more each side. And then set your hips back down. Now, if this next progression seems to be too challenging, keep your hips on the mat. Otherwise, let's do that pelvic tilt. Lift your hips up any amount. And then a little bit of a sequence we did earlier in class. We'll bring the right knee into the chest. Extend the leg up. Flex the ankle. Bend the knee. Set the foot on the mat. Left knee into chest. Extend the leg. Flex the ankle. Bend the knee. Set the foot down. Good. So either with your hips up or down, flowing at any pace that works good for you. So the leg that's moving, we're working on flexibility and mobility. The leg that's staying on the floor is working on strengthening and stability. Let's do 2 more on each side. Try to keep the pelvis level. 1 more each side. And then lower those hips back down to the floor. Let's hug the knees up to the chest and just rock a little bit from side to side, just to release the lower back 1 more time. If you'd like, you can also come into happy baby here. So we would bend the knees about 90 degrees, flexing the feet like they're coming up on the ceiling. You can grab behind your legs. You can grab your ankles, or you can get the bottoms of your feet if you have that flexibility. And then just rock a little bit from side to side. All right, I'd like for you to make your way up to a kneeling position. So any way that you would like. I'm going to do a little roll like a ball and sit up. We'll be on our knees for a bit. So if you have sensitive knees and you're on a hard surface like I am with your sticky mat, have a little bit of padding under the knees. And let's face each other forward. You might need your yoga block in front of you. So let's come on up. Now, when we're on our knees like this, you can have your feet flat or you can tuck your toes underneath if that feels a little bit better for you, and you can get a little stretch under the bottoms of the feet. It's a little toe squat. And then let's lift the right arm up. Let the left arm slide down the leg as you stretch. And come up. And then we're switching. And this is just whatever range of motion suits your back and your side waist. And I'm keeping the ASIS pointed straight forward. So they're not tipping up or tipping down or twisting. We'll do 1 more with that left arm up. And lower down. Now we'll hinge the hips back toward the heels, placing the hands down and take a little child's pose here. You can use that block to place under your forehead if you'd like, but if it doesn't touch the ground or a prop, that's okay as well. And just stretch out the shoulders nicely. Just 2 more breaths here. And then start to walk your hands in. We'll take the right leg out to the side. And then inch yourself back up. So we're now over the left knee. And your right foot is slightly turned out, so your foot is nice and comfortable. And we'll lift the right arm up. We'll take that side stretch, and now our pelvis is slightly tipped, so we might be able to bring the hand down to the mat, really open up the side body. Then pull yourself up. Lift that left arm, and then here's where it's pretty tight to go very far. This is our gate pose. We'll do 2 more on this side. You can also place your block here. This is nice. I really do like having that support with the block. And 1 more. Good. And bring the arms directly out. Make the goalpost elbows and pull your shoulder blades back, opening up the chest. And then reach the arms forward. Separate your shoulder blades. You can interlace your fingers and point the index fingers forward. Drop the chin slightly. Oh, I feel all kinds of tension melting away from my upper back and neck here. All right, lift the head back up. We'll bring the hands down to the floor or to your block. And we'll take that child's pose position or down dog position with the arms by walking them way out and trying to sink your forehead down toward the floor, and a big stretch through your right inner thigh and hamstring. 2 more breaths. Good. We'll just walk the hands in on the mat to bring that right knee back underneath the hip. And then take the left leg and extend it out long. Turn your toe out a little bit. Walk your fingers in so you come up and stack the right ASIS over the knee. And notice that your hips are on an angle because of the orientation of the pose. And we'll lift the left arm and take that side stretch. I'm going to grab my block there. Good. Pull it up and switch sides. Now this can actually be done sitting in a chair or standing up to some degree. So if you're really struggling with your knee on the mat, make some modifications so it suits your body. Good. 1 more each side. Good. Back to center. Make your goalpost elbows. Pull them back. So you're firing the muscles of the upper back in order to get that reciprocal inhibition feeling of stretching right through the pectorals. And then close the hands, maybe interlace, point the fingers forward, separate your shoulder blades so you're coming into protraction. Drop the chin. Beautiful. All right, let's fold forward. So hands come down, block or mat. Walk the fingertips forward into our extended child's pose position or down dog position, puppy pose. And feel that stretch on the inner thigh and hamstring on your left leg. Some deep breaths. Very nice. Let's walk those hands in. Bring your left knee back so you're on all fours. And we'll take a wide knee child's pose. So I'm going to separate my knees out and out. My big toes are still touching. Sit the hips back toward the heels any amount. Let your belly drop through the center. And relax the forehead. If you don't touch the floor, you can also stack your fists to hold your head here. Nice option. Okay, we will transition to coming onto our feet. So the way I like to do that is to walk the knees back in, tuck my toes underneath, and push my knees up off the floor. Start to walk my hands toward my feet, and then roll up to stand. Good. Just take some easy movement here. I feel like I just need to kind of do the wiggle walk or something, get everything loosened up. Okay, you will need something to help you for balance, likely, on this next sequence. So I'm going to use the wall, and we'll be focusing on our right leg, similar to what we did laying on our back. We'll keep the spine long, bring the right knee up, extend the leg to straight, flex the foot, rebend the knee, and come down. Same leg. We bend, extend, flex, bend, and drop. 3 more. Now watch this next one. This is what sometimes happens if you're tight in your hamstrings and you go too far here. Your bum tucks under and your body goes forward. So I want you to keep it upright. And one more time. And down. Now, like an egg beater circle, same leg, right leg comes up. We open it around and come in. And I'm going to keep my knee bent so it comes up, open, and around. 3 more. Up, open, around. 2, and 1. Then lift it to the front to pause, and we'll reverse this by pushing back, out, and around. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Now hold that knee up. Try to release the wall for a single leg stance and hold. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Lower that foot down. Now you should be feeling some tension in that standing leg. So let's again kind of shake it out a bit. The standing supporting leg gets a lot of isometric work. Okay, I'm using the wall with my right hand just a little bit. The left knee comes up, the toe is pointed.
We extend the leg, flex the ankle, bend the knee, and tap it down. We have 5 repetitions. Now, earlier when we did this on our back, we put a breath flow with it. So if you'd like to, you can inhale, exhale, inhale, and exhale. 2 more. And just using that wall or chair or surface just a little bit for balance. Okay, that was 5. Let's do our egg beaters. So the knee comes up, circles out, and around. And we hold the knee bent. Up, around, and down. Try not to move your pelvis much at all. So this is just about moving the femur in the acetabulum of the hip socket. While we're working on stabilization of our right leg and balance. Bring that knee forward and pause as we reverse the circle. Back, out and around. 4 more. Feel those muscles activating. One more time. Then hold the knee up. Let's try our single leg stance, releasing the wall if possible, about 15 seconds. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Set that foot down. Good. Okay, we're going to do a little bit of prancing. So one knee bends, and then we switch. And your body's kind of coming up and down. So it's a little like a horse prancing. We do this on the Pilates Reformer. It's called prancing or running. This is something that's nice to do on a stair where you can drop your heel down to get a stretch further than the floor. Let's do 2 more on each side. 1 more each side. And then release down. Now both heels come up off the floor, lift and lower. If you need that little bit of a wall for balance, it's great. Up and down. Balance in calf strength, good posture. 4 more. And 3, 2, and 1. Now notice your body was rising and falling. Our legs were pretty straight as we were doing that. And this works the gastrocnemius, which is this outer portion of our calf that we can physically see. There's a muscle underneath that called the soleus. So what we're going to do is come down into a chair pose. Now we'll do our prancing here by lifting one heel and then the other. Now you can do this absolutely one at a time. So you can lift a heel, set it down, lift the other heel, set it down, or you can try to swap at the same time. So while one heel is coming up, the other one is going down. A little bit more challenging. Again, you can use something for balance here. And 2 more on each side. All right, both heels down. Again, if you need something for balance, just a little bit, we're going to try to lift both heels up and both going to come down. Keep those abdominals nice and braced. 5 more. 4, hips are back, just like a chair pose. 3, 2, and 1. Great, rise up out of those legs. Let's step the right foot forward, it's straight ahead, and the left foot back, and push your heel down into the earth. Now I'd like the back foot to be pretty parallel. The more you turn your foot out, the less opportunity you have for a calf stretch here. And then we'll reach the arms up any amount and hold. And then bring the right hand to the hip. We'll add a little element of balance here as we side stretch to the right side, opening the left waist. Come back to neutral. Place your left hand across your right shoulder. Your right hand can stay at your hip or bring it behind your back. And slightly twist to your right. Good. You can use something for balance here with this hand. And we'll come back to center. And then release the arms, step the back foot to the front. And then maybe a little bit of a prance here as we kind of flush out those muscles that are feeling a little tired from that pose. Okay, step your right foot back any amount and drop your heel down. That back leg is straight. Front knee is bent. Bring the arms forward and up any amount. We're engaging the right gluteal. Placing the left hand at the hip. A little bitty side stretch over to the left. Good. Come back up. Place the right hand across the left shoulder. Left hand behind your back or at your hip. And we'll twist to the left. Good. Come back to the center. Release the arms down. And step that back foot forward. Maybe a little bit of prancing. Or picking up one knee and the other just to flesh out the muscles. Okay, it's time to come into our restorative portion. So we'll take our time to create our little incline prop. So I'm going to take my block down to the floor and then place my stiff pillow on an angle here. You'll have your yoga strap. And then you might need a blanket here for the sitting bones as we come on down. All right, wonderful. So we're firstly going to sit in a seated tree pose. My hips are pretty close to the pillow here. I'll straighten out my right leg and then bend my left knee in and allow it to open to the side. So it looks like I'm doing tree. And then let's take our yoga strap. And we'll take that strap, place it under the bottom of the foot, and sit up nice and tall and stretch through the hamstring. So I'm going to start my little timer here so I get some equally timed poses here as we stretch. So let's hinge forward any amount until we feel that stretch. And we'll stay here for 60 seconds. And just relax any tight muscles. Feel that left hip opening, maybe the lower back stretching, as well as the hamstring and the calf muscle. And we have 15 seconds in this pose. And then as you come up, hold on to your strap with your right hand and we'll twist open to the left. You can place your hand down and then rotate. Only about 30 seconds on our twist. Then let's take our counter twist to the other side. So the left hand comes and reaches for the strap. We twist open to the right or place the hand behind us. Notice how different this feels when we twist this way. It's hitting my left hip flexor a little bit more and into the groin. Looking over the shoulder. Good, all right, come back to center. We are going to release this strap and then we'll be laying back over the pillow here. So guide yourself down and then open your arms out any amount like a goalpost or a T so that you get this nice stretch in your shoulders. And we'll be staying here for about 2 minutes. So some things I want you to think about. Relax this left inner thigh and hip flexor in your hip. You can allow your right leg to slightly roll out a little bit, your toe moving out to the side. And then send your breathing right into the upper chest and the upper rib cage. This is a big stretch for my pecs here. Just having that little bit of an incline so that my arms can drop below the level that they normally would if I were laying on the floor is giving a really nice stretch for the pecs. So great for posture. I'll keep an eye on the clock here. We have 1 more minute in our pose. Try to really relax the eyelids, the forehead, the jaw, the neck. The hips feel heavy into the mat. Three more slow breaths. Now, as you think about coming up, you might need to stack your knees and roll over onto your side to press yourself up. Or perhaps having this incline will allow you a little bit of leverage to reach the arms forward and to sit your body upright. So take your time. Once you come back to a seated position, we'll extend the left leg straight. Bend the right knee into our seated tree. And we'll get our yoga strap situated under the ball of the foot. And then the clock is ready to go. We'll sit up tall and then hinge forward into our stretch and hold for 60 seconds. Now the goal is to lengthen the spine, not to sit really hunched. We're not looking at bringing our forehead down to our knees, so our head is up in alignment. We're leading with the abdominal area forward first to keep our spine pretty neutral. Really slow the breath. Relax your right hip and glute and inner thigh. Okay, let's come up. We'll keep the strap in the right hand as we rotate open to the left for our twist. Hand can come behind as we look over the shoulder. Try to sit up a little taller with your spine. Make sure you're not slouching. Some good mobility for the neck. And then we'll come back through the center to switch hands on the strap, opening out to the right, looking over that right shoulder. All right, come back to the center, and let's get ready to roll down over our props. So guide yourself back by keeping your abdominals nice and strong. And we have 2 minutes relaxing in our reclining tree pose. Now there's a lot of different breath patterns we can concentrate on here. So maybe you pick one. It could be the equal ratio breath, where the inhalation and the exhalation are matching in length. Or we can do the sinking breath, where the exhalation is twice as long as the inhalation. We can do the 3-part breath, while we inhale into the belly region, then the rib cage, then the heart. And we exhale in reverse to press the air out by exhaling heart to the rib cage, to the belly. Or just allow the breath to be. There's no right or wrong. Perhaps you can change your arm position a little bit. Sometimes I even like to put my hands behind my head and let the elbows open out. That's a different stretch. But just make sure it's something that you can relax into. Let's take 3 more deep breaths here.
Then you'll decide how to come up for your body. Perhaps restack the knees, roll to your side and come up. Or we can reach the arms forward, do a little head nod, rolling up off your prop. Okay, let's briefly straighten out both legs. We'll take the strap under the bottom of both feet and then lengthen the spine and stretch forward. As always, your knees can be bent some here. If your hamstrings are really tight and you're feeling this in your lower back, go ahead and allow your knees to bend. And let's come up. We'll bend both knees into our butterfly stretch. So both knees are opening. Pressing the knees out, we'll sit up tall with our spine. And then we'll reach the right hand or the left hand, whichever one you want to start with first, behind and twist one direction. And then reverse. And I'm sure you know where we're going next. Yes. This is sometimes called queen pose in restorative yoga. It's a reclined bound angle pose, Supta Baddha Konasana. So when we come to center, we're going to leave both knees open as we roll back. Now, if you were to have a couple more blankets or pillows, it'd be nice to stack them underneath your legs to support. But we're just here for 2 minutes today. So let's roll ourselves back. Or if you need to go to your side first and then go to your back and separate the knees, that's great as well. And we have our final 2-minute restorative posture. Perhaps again choosing a breath pattern. And really try to clear your thoughts of any external chatter. If you feel your mind wandering, it's great to bring it back to your breathing. Or back to the sensations that you're feeling in your body. Enjoying the stretch. Just let your thoughts fade away and surrender to the pose and relax. De-stress. Just rescan your body from head to toe to notice if you're hanging on to any tension anywhere, any gripping. And just consciously relax those areas. If you need to adjust position, please do so that you can relax and you're not fighting the pose. Let's take 3 to 5 more slow breaths. And then we'll allow our knees to close together. And extend the legs long if that feels okay for your body. Separating your feet maybe a little wider than hips distance apart. Let your toes turn out, your thighs rotate open. More of our traditional Shavasana. And just take a moment to bring to mind one or two things that you are grateful for as 2024 is coming to a close. And if you need more time today in quiet meditation, feel free to remain as you are. I mentioned at the beginning of class that I wouldn't be able to stay for our chat. So if you would just like to remain here for as long as you like, that's fine. You can leave the meeting open as long as you wish. Or if you feel ready to come out of Shavasana, again, deciding how to come up to seated, maybe rolling to a side, pausing there for a bit. Or perhaps you can reach those arms forward, do a little head nod, and peel yourself up off the props. Then we'll come to a comfortable seat. And sit tall. We'll take 3 circles with our spine from the right to the front, to the left, and center. 2 more. On this last one, let's bring it to the center and hold, pause. Then finish your way around. And reverse, 3 circles starting to the left. Scoop the abdominals in as you come forward, supporting the low back. Good. And our last one, as we come to the front, we'll pause there. Give yourself a moment just to stretch through the lumbar spine and through the hips. And finish your way around. And we'll close our practice with a nice big inhale, reaching up. Press the palms together. We'll bring the thumbs to pause at the third eye center of the forehead for positive thoughts for our day. And the thumbs pause at the lips for positive words. And they pause at the heart for positive actions. And the light and joy that reside within me honors the light and joy in each of you. Namaste. Thank you so much for joining me, everyone. I'll see you on Tuesday or Thursday of next week. Again, be watching your email for news for January. All right, everybody. I'll see you soon. Have a great day.